The vast West African kingdoms of Mali, Ghana, and Songhai were once among the wealthiest, most powerful, and most culturally advanced civilizations in the world. Between the 4th and 16th centuries, they commanded immense wealth, developed intricate systems of governance, nurtured unique cultural legacies, and wielded influence that extended beyond the African continent, reaching into the Islamic world and beyond to Europe. This article seeks to provide a comprehensive exploration of the wealth, culture, political structures, and lasting legacies of these empires. We'll delve deeply into each kingdom's rise and fall, examining their historical contexts, connections to global trade networks, religious influences, and the social systems that underpinned their extraordinary accomplishments. The Ghana Empire, often referred to as Ouagadougou by its people, is believed to have been established around the 4th century, lasting until the 13th century. This empire emerged as one of the earliest West African powers and laid the groundwork for the future wealth of the region. Situated between the Senegal and Niger rivers in present-day southeastern Mauritania and western Mali, Ghana benefited from its strategic position in a fertile, resource-rich area that connected to lucrative trans-Saharan trade routes. The empire grew to control the exchange of gold, salt, and other commodities, transforming into a hub for economic and cultural exchange. Ghana's economic foundation was primarily built on gold. The region possessed abundant gold resources, particularly in the Bambuk gold fields. As gold became increasingly prized across North Africa, the Middle East, and Europe, Ghana emerged as the most significant supplier in the region. Merchants from the Maghreb and the Sahara traveled through Ghana to procure gold, carrying it back through the deserts to the north, where it was exchanged for various goods, including horses, textiles, and manufactured items. Salt, another critical commodity, was equally valuable in Ghana. While salt deposits were scarce in the kingdom itself, the Sahara Desert provided vast salt mines in areas like Gaza. Salt, essential for human survival and a rare commodity in the tropical climates of sub-Saharan Africa, could command prices nearly equal to gold. The trading of salt for gold created a profitable exchange system for the Ghanaian rulers, who imposed taxes on all goods entering and leaving the kingdom. These taxes contributed to a powerful treasury that enabled the king to fund a robust military and lavish court life. Beyond economic wealth, Ghana developed a sophisticated political and social system. The king of Ghana, often referred to as the Ghana, held near absolute power, governing through a centralized system that relied on loyal ministers, advisors, and a substantial military force to maintain order and secure trade routes. The ruler's court was highly hierarchical, with separate quarters for administrative functions, military officials, and foreign envoys, reflecting the influence of Islamic political and cultural customs introduced by North African traders. Though the Ghana Empire was initially resistant to Islam, it did adopt many Islamic cultural practices, particularly in governance, law, and learning. By the 11th century, Islam had made inroads into the Ghanaian court and among the elite, creating a blend of indigenous traditions and Islamic influences. Yet, while the ruling class began to incorporate Islamic customs, the majority of the population continued practicing traditional West African religious beliefs. This duality of spiritual practice became a hallmark of West African civilizations, illustrating their ability to assimilate foreign influences without losing indigenous identity. However, Ghana's dominance began to wane around the 12th century. The Almoravid invasion from the north, coupled with internal disputes, weakened the kingdom's hold on its territories and trade routes. The Almoravids, a Berber Muslim group, launched a series of raids to control Ghana's wealth and spread Islam. Though it remains debated whether they conquered Ghana outright, their military campaigns destabilized the region, leading to Ghana's gradual decline and eventual absorption by the expanding Mali Empire. Following Ghana's decline, the Mali Empire rose to power in the 13th century under the leadership of Sundiata Keita, a warrior king who united several fragmented territories and established Mali as a preeminent West African power. The empire reached its peak in the 14th century, expanding its territory from the Atlantic coast through present-day Senegal, Gambia, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and northern Nigeria. This vast area enabled Mali to control critical trade routes across the Sahara, inheriting Ghana's role as the primary supplier of gold to the Mediterranean and Islamic worlds. The Mali Empire's wealth was unparalleled, particularly during the reign of Mansa Musa, who ruled from 1312 to 1337. Mansa Musa, renowned as one of history's wealthiest individuals, epitomized Mali's golden age. His Hajj to Mecca in 1324, a religious pilgrimage required of Muslims, became legendary for its lavish display of wealth and piety. Musa traveled with an entourage of thousands, including soldiers, attendants, and slaves, each carrying gold. He distributed so much gold in Egypt and Arabia that he inadvertently caused significant inflation, disrupting local economies for years. Under Mansa Musa, Mali's prosperity extended beyond wealth into intellectual and cultural achievements. Musa actively promoted Islamic scholarship, commissioning the construction of mosques, libraries, and universities. The most famous of these institutions was the University of Sankore in Timbuktu, which became a center of learning that attracted scholars, poets, and scientists from across the Islamic world. Timbuktu grew into a cosmopolitan city where the exchange of ideas flourished, fostering a legacy of scholarship that would resonate for centuries. The integration of Islamic culture into Mali's social and political fabric deepened under Mansa Musa. The Mali court embraced Islamic legal principles, which influenced the empire's governance. Yet, Mali's rulers carefully balanced Islamic law with indigenous customs, creating a distinctive syncretic culture. The majority of Mali's population retained their traditional religious beliefs, worshipping nature deities and ancestors alongside Islam. This tolerance and cultural integration helped Mali maintain social cohesion in a vast, ethnically diverse empire. Economically, Mali's wealth relied heavily on its control of gold mining regions, especially the Bambuk, Beret, and Galam fields. Mali's rulers employed a sophisticated trade network and taxation system similar to that of Ghana. Caravan routes across the Sahara allowed Mali to transport gold, ivory, kola nuts, and slaves northward while importing textiles, beads, and salt. This commercial success enabled Mali's rulers to support an extensive military, which defended trade routes and the empire's borders, ensuring stability. However, by the late 14th century, the Mali Empire faced internal challenges and external threats. A succession of weak rulers after Mansa Musa led to internal fragmentation, with various provinces and vassal states asserting independence. Competing powers in the region, particularly the emerging Songhai Empire, began to challenge Mali's supremacy. By the 15th century, Mali's influence had significantly diminished, setting the stage for Songhai's rise. The Songhai Empire, centered along the Niger River near present-day Gao, succeeded Mali as West Africa's dominant power in the 15th century. Initially a vassal state within the Mali Empire, Songhai seized its independence in the 14th century under the leadership of Sunni Ali, who founded the Songhai Empire and expanded its reach through military conquests. Sunni Ali, a formidable military strategist, employed a blend of cavalry and naval forces to capture key cities, including Timbuktu and Jen, consolidating Songhai's hold over Mali's former territories. Under Sunni Ali's successors, particularly Askia Muhammad, the Songhai Empire flourished as a center of commerce, culture, and intellectual life. Askia Muhammad, who ruled from 1493 to 1528, implemented reforms that strengthened Songhai's administrative efficiency and promoted Islamic scholarship. A devout Muslim, Askia established a government that incorporated Islamic principles, particularly in legal matters. He appointed qadis or judges to administer Islamic law and encourage scholars to settle in Songhai cities, particularly Timbuktu, which retained its status as a center of Islamic learning. Songhai's wealth was grounded in its control over trans-Saharan trade routes and strategic locations along the Niger River. The empire controlled vital gold fields and salt mines, taxing goods that passed through its territories. This system of taxation generated immense revenue, which financed the construction of a standing army and supported the empire's infrastructure. Songhai's rulers maintained a large fleet of riverboats, enabling efficient control over the Niger River and facilitating trade and military operations. The Songhai Empire's political system was highly organized, with a centralized bureaucracy that supervised various provinces. This bureaucracy was divided into departments, each overseeing specific aspects of governance, including the military, taxation, agriculture, and foreign relations. The administrative reforms introduced by Askia Muhammad allowed Songhai to govern its expansive territory effectively, ensuring stability and unity in an empire that spanned from the Western Sahel to the Central Sahara. Yet, Songhai's success was not without challenges. Ethnic and religious divisions, particularly between the Muslim ruling class and the predominantly non-Muslim population, created tensions within the empire. While Askia Muhammad promoted Islam, many of Songhai's people retained their indigenous beliefs. This religious diversity sometimes led to conflicts, though Songhai's rulers generally adopted a policy of tolerance similar to that of their predecessors in Mali. The Songhai Empire reached its height in the late 15th and early 16th centuries, but its downfall was swift. In 1591, the Moroccan Sultan Ahmad al-Mansur, seeking to capitalize on Songhai's wealth, dispatched an army to conquer the empire. Armed with firearms, the Moroccan forces defeated Songhai's military at the Battle of Tondabai, marking the end of Songhai's supremacy. The empire fragmented into smaller states, and its political unity dissolved. The Moroccan invasion disrupted the trans-Saharan trade routes, contributing to the decline of West Africa's golden age. The legacies of Ghana, Mali, and Songhai endure in the cultural, intellectual, and historical landscapes of West Africa. These empires forged a tradition of wealth, scholarship, and innovation that shaped the region's identity and contributed to the broader history of the African continent. The centers of learning established in Mali and Songhai, particularly in Timbuktu, preserved a wealth of knowledge in science, mathematics, literature, and theology, leaving a scholarly heritage that persists in West African culture today. Moreover, the wealth and influence of these kingdoms challenge European perceptions of Africa as a primitive land, demonstrating that sophisticated civilizations with rich histories flourished on the continent. The trade networks established by Ghana, Mali, and Songhai integrated West Africa into the global economy, facilitating exchanges that influenced African, Middle Eastern, and European societies.